So this is the question. It's page 41 in the booklet of questions, the Midas Touch jewellery store. Okay, so the store was broken into on March 8th and all stock was stolen. Okay, there was nothing left over. And you are preparing an insurance claim and you've got the following information to work with. So there's a series of bullet points setting out various elements of information which we're going to use to prepare the solution. Now, as noted in the previous video, the approach is to prepare a trading account. So if you cast your mind back to semester 1, you saw that a trading account consists of sales and cost of sales elements. And the cost of sales elements are opening stock, purchases, and closing stock. So remember, as I said in the previous video, the closing stock is essentially the value of stock we had at the 8th of March. That's what was stolen, and that's the figure that we're trying to determine. Now, the first bullet point mentions closing inventories, so some of you might be a little confused about that reference to closing inventories. But this is closing inventories as stated in the last statement of financial position or balance sheet back at December 18 was worth 11,370. This refers to stock at the end of the last accounting period, which will become opening stock at the start of the current period. So that figure there is our opening stock. So I'm just going to put in opening stock in the text, and when we do our solution, I'll use that figure for my opening stock. Payables at this date were owed 9,470, and of this 6,800 is owed to suppliers of jewellery and the balance for other suppliers. Now, we're only interested in purchases in the trading account, purchases of goods for resale. So given that the store is a jewellery store, we'll be looking at the creditors for goods bought for resale, so suppliers of jewellery. So this figure here, that's going to be a relevant figure. So I'll just highlight that to make it stand out. That's what we owed our suppliers at the end of last year. So we're going to need to do a little bit of work with that and other figures to determine how much we bought from suppliers this period. Details extracted from the cheque payments book for the period 1st of January 2019 to the date of the robbery are as follows. So these are the payments we made to our suppliers. So in the previous bullet point, we identified that we owed them 6,800 at the end of December 2018. And then in 2019, we made payments and we received some discounts as indicated here. And these totals are further split up. You can see that there was a discount of 725 from suppliers of jewellery and 1,000 euros from other suppliers. And the payments, a total of 12,693, is broken down as indicated here. Now again, we're only interested in the suppliers of jewellery. So I'm just going to highlight that data there because that's what I'm going to be using in my solution. Don't care about the other suppliers. They'd be suppliers for things like electricity, telephone services, advertising, and so on and so forth. Nothing to do with the jewellery. So we're only interested in these particular suppliers. Now, next bullet point, payables are owed 11,950 at the date of the robbery, 8th of March. And this is split between 10,805 owed to suppliers of jewellery and 1,145 to others. Again, I'm only interested in the 10,805 owed to suppliers of jewellery. So I'll just highlight that in my question text. The gross margin on cost is on average 50%. What that means is that cost of sales divided by, gross profit divided by cost, all multiplied by 100 equals 50%. Okay, so gross profit divided by sales, all multiplied by 100 equals 50%. So that can be used as part of a solution, as we'll see later. Slightly mysterious statement, but it is an important one in the context of solving the problem. Cash lodged to the bank account in the period 1st of January 2019 to the 8th of March 2019 totaled 20,500. Okay, so this is cash takings which we lodged to the current account in the period up to the date of the robbery, 20,500. That presumably would be linked to our sales, but there's another little piece of information. Cash received totaling 1,700 had not been lodged, but had been paid out as casual wages from the till. Well, in reality, both the cash lodged and the cash not lodged must have come from sales. So the sum of these two values will constitute our sales in the period. Just because the money wasn't lodged to the bank account doesn't mean that it wasn't a sales related source of cash. So the sum of these two will be our sales. So we have gone through the elements of the question, and on the next video I'm going to use this data to solve the question. So what you should do before shutting this video off is just maybe highlight the elements that I've highlighted and add in the little bits of text that I've added in, so that when we look at the solution you can more easily follow what's going on.